Welcome everyone, and congratulations, graduates. This is a moment to honor both success and privilege. In thinking about today's topic, which is graduation, it occurred to me to speak about desire. As people very much on the edge of an experience, we find ourselves in the in-between. With our lives wide open, we are probably flooded with questions like, what do I want to do next year? How do I want to live? What do I want to cultivate? Inherent in these questions is the fact that we have desires about how we want our lives to turn out. Now, I want to preface this conversation by saying that desire is good news. It is a sign of our vitality to be asking these questions, to be dreaming, to be wanting. In fact, not having desires is never the goal. We always want to be relating with our world. My hope today is to propose that we use the training we have received at Naropa and make desire the object of our meditation. When we find ourselves wanting, we can notice this moment, and instead of being carried away with the thoughts of what we want, we can actually feel into the wanting itself. To use a personal example, I wanted to be the graduation speaker. The sensation of that desire was so strong in me that I could not avoid noticing it. When the day came that I nominated myself for this position, I had already spent time observing that desire in my body. I could feel its clarity, its groundedness, and its joy. In coming to know the texture of my desire, I was then able to act with directness and ease. It became less about the outcome and more about the fact that I was honoring myself in the process. Only later did I make this sort of startling realization that desire is what takes us away from home base, which in this case was the land where I was safe and in the audience. But this is an important point. Desire is the emotional energy that can move us from safety into the unknown. And the unknown, as we have learned here, is where there is more possibility. I think this is one of the reasons why the protest going on at Naropa is so important. The students' awareness of their desire and need for change is propelling the entire university into unknown waters, which are, like the ocean, vast, terrifying, and formless. But these are the exact qualities that make profound movement possible. While these examples illustrate the kinds of desires that lead to expansion, there are also desires that are not guided by bravery but by fear. For example, I want to have such and such a career because of the money, or I want to be with you because I'm afraid of being alone. I can't speak for everyone, but I know that for me, these fear-driven pursuits would not satisfy. That is why I think it is so important to take the time to know, to question, what is the quality of my desire? Do I experience it with urgency or with grace, with dis-ease or with joy? Often we find as we pursue desires that require our bravery, that our physical quality is blown open, like being at the top of a sweeping cliff overlooking the ocean. I think this is the essence of the human spirit, which is this longing to participate, this longing to join the world, to join a cause, or to find love. In many ways, desire propels us into the most tender heart spot where we are so vulnerable. In this space, we also have the tremendous gift of being able to make fools out of ourselves, just like I do right now. But that is where we want to be, I think. What we do means something here. When we follow through with our desires, we take a huge risk. The feeling is so that you're right there on the edge of life, absolutely touched that you have a chance to even be here, to be alive. Working with desire also shows us the elusiveness of everything, as we realize that the objects of our desires never completely satisfy in a permanent way. Exploring this, we may begin to understand that if nothing is absolutely satisfying, then maybe it isn't about those things we're pursuing anyway. Possibly, our lives are also about the simple experience of being a human being who desires, who has passion. You see, the thing that is always happening now is the desire itself. Not the fulfillment, not the end goal, but the yearning, the longing, the human spiritfulness. That's what's happening now. Desire is a so precious rose. My hope is that we all treasure this. In the experience of jumping off the edge and following our desires into the unknown, I hope we do not miss the perhaps subtler experience that is always present. Regardless of how it goes, the gift of desire is always with us. Here I am, living. Here I am, this very moment, full of passion. May your desires be great and lead you to many good deeds. May the world benefit from your bravery. Now, the planned portion of the talk is over, but I feel compelled to speak to what we saw in Adriana's speech, which was that many of the audience members stood up. I would like you to consider the contemplative practice of what it means to stand when we are so often sitting. Our most recent Lens fellow speaker, Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams, described the practice of intermittently standing during sitting meditation. She stood not as an act of defiance, but as a contemplative exercise, as a physical invitation for the body to go against the status quo. In doing this, she stood against racism and oppression during a time traditionally set aside for stillness. This graduation ceremony, or at least while the speakers are talking, comes with the expectation that we remain seated. But as the students during Adriana's speech demonstrated, we actually have a choice to stand up whenever we want. So, I would like to offer the opportunity for us all to stand in solidarity today with the students camping on the green. If you didn't understand what was happening before, I'm giving you the chance now. May we all, students and everyone here, work to create an environment in which all beings exist with equal ease and equal happiness. Thank you.